All right, welcome back to another episode of Side Note, the podcast dedicated to underground electronic dance music and all things related. We've been on somewhat of a hiatus. It's probably been like 3 or 4 weeks since our last episode, but I'm so happy to come back with a bang with the man like himself, the head honcho of Incognito, Gerard Not Gerald. Promoter / DJ extraordinaire. Welcome, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So really appreciate you coming by. You know, I think you are sort of a veteran in the scene. You've been doing this. I mean, I guess how long have you been doing this?
It's our 16th year.
16 years, okay. Because I can remember, I feel like maybe the first party of yours that I went to was on the Standard Rooftop, Incognito. I want to say you partnered up with Droog a lot. Is that correct?
Not there. Okay. At Standard, we were doing it ourselves.
Got it. Okay. But I do remember that party.
Yeah.
I remember it. It was like a really hot party too. Like it was difficult to get into. Like you kind of had to show up early, and it was like packed full of beautiful people and beautiful music. So I guess I want to get the whole history of how you came to do this, and I'm sure everyone wants to know this. But I'll typically start off every interview or every podcast with, like, tell us about the last weekend or the last event, because you're throwing stuff virtually every weekend, right?
Yes.
So what was last weekend's party, and give us the recap.
What was the last weekend? Actually, this June, I have to check my calendar because it's almost every weekend that it's all a blur. So I think the last one that we had was June. Was it June 11? Where are we now? I think it was June 11 with Stacy Pullen.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was an Incognito and collaboration with Dirty Epic.
Okay.
Definitely, that was a fun times. This is our second time having Stacy.
Okay.
We actually had Stacy. Our first time was probably July of last year.
So bringing in some house vibes.
Yes. I mean, technically, it was Detroit techno. Of course, I mean, comparing it with the current techno sound.
Yeah.
It sounds more like tech house.
Right.
But housey, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a needed break in the current trajectory of where the sound is currently going. It definitely is faster and harder.
Yeah.
And as far as, as Incognito has been, when we started, we never really, targeted just one sound. We wanted to, because it's Incognito there's two of us. It's basically me and Alan Aguiani. So the agreement was, we don't want to be, because of course both of us are Filipinos,
right?
And since we moved here back in the early 2000s, we've just been going to the Filipino parties.
Okay.
And the plan was, because he was more, I was the attendee. He was actually part of the party.
Okay.
And, how it started was, I always went out, to a different party, of course, going to, back then it was Fun Day, Giant.
Yeah.
So those were the crazy times.
Liquefied.
Liquefied. I would go out almost every weekend, even going out alone and just meeting people, which is the thing that I love.
Okay.
You're going there to meet people who just love the music. And that's how it all started, was, of course, back in the Philippines. I always go back with them. I've always been into the sound. I actually started, from house to drum and bass, UK garage. Those are, basically what I started with. And then when I moved here, then the progressive house, trance, basically. So that's how Incognito started, was why not me always going out every weekend to see all these, huge trance DJs,
right?
Progressive house DJs like Tiesto and stuff, Armin van Buuren always playing at Circus, right? And I said, I've been listening to a lot of the sets and just digging who they're playing, like who are these producers behind the music that they're playing. And that just clicked, you know. And I said, why not book these people, you know, the producers,
Right,
and break them into the LA scene. So that's how it all started. So I discussed this one time with Alan. Hey, this is my proposal. Let's just do a night, you know, a monthly. So we actually had 2 rooms, which we started at. It wasn't a club in Hollywood. Now I'm forgetting it.
Ivar.
No, that's it's close to kinking. Borders.
Okay.
Yeah, Borders.
Okay.
So that's where we started. So we had like, you know, an indoor and outdoor patio. So indoor was the trance part of
Okay.
it. The outside was house. So that's where we started.
That used to be the dichotomy. It was house and trance.
Yes.
It's funny now it's about house and techno. Those are the
Yes.
2 sides. But okay.
So, and then almost, you know, at the end of the year, I think that was 2007 when we started. And then we started, you know, looking into moving to a different venue. Because it wasn't really that conducive, because Borders is more of a goth.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess pausing for a second.
Yeah.
What days were you? Was it a Friday party or a Saturday party?
We started with a Friday party.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so this was just your sort of personal funds, like going into
Yes.
the investment. Okay. And then, were you immediately profitable, or was it one of those things where it's like, okay, we're like maybe initially you're losing money, and then eventually you figure things out?
That was of course always the case, because brand new.
Okay.
We never really. I mean, the only people that we knew were the people who attending the Spun Days
Right.
party. You know, so that's how we started. Just grow it organically.
And what did marketing look like then? Because there was some social media, but it wasn't the way it is now.
Yeah. So back then, I think. I mean, since we were Asians, we were on Friendster.
Okay. Yeah.
It was Friendster and MySpace.
Oh man, I remember that. Shit.
Yeah. So Friendster and MySpace, I know we had. Because our very first underground party was with Ida Engberg.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, that
Holy
was in
shit.
2009.
Okay.
So
Was she already married to Adam Bayer then?
No, not yet.
Okay.
She was with somebody else.
Okay.
But yeah, it was her debut. It was her very first underground party in downtown LA.
Okay.
It was in the middle of Skid Row.
As many parties are.
Yes. So, and it was just recently, this March, that she actually played again.
I saw that,
Yeah.
I think, on Incognito's Instagram, that you kind of brought her back, and it was a
so
big
with
commemoration.
in collaboration with Factory 93.
Okay.
Which is
Insomniac.
yes, it was a good because I was planning it hopefully like a decade after that she comes back, but hey,
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I know.
But so when you were starting, like what did you have to do to actually do the bookings, right? Like where do you even begin? Like, do you find an agent that helps you?
No, when we started, of course, I would go around. I would go out and started with just the local DJs
Okay.
basically, and then it all. We built up all these relationships with the local DJs, and they know the producers, the upcoming producers. And of course, I told them what the plan is for Incognito. I'm not planning on booking huge DJs.
Right. It's like more underground vibes.
Yeah, definitely underground. Who can who are these up and coming artists that want to play in LA?
Okay.
But it's actually not the other way around. It was more of like, who am I? Who do I like?
Okay.
And so it's basically Incognito is who we book, what the type of music is represents us, what we love. It's not about the money. It's more of like what we love, and that's what we're trying to share.
Yeah, you want to throw a party that you would want to go to, right?
I don't want to be throwing a party just to make money, even though I don't like
Yeah,
music.
yeah. I mean, there's people out there that's doing that, and I think the greatest thing about rave music in LA is that for the most part, people are doing it out of love for
Yes.
the music.
And especially if, I mean, I've been doing it for 15, 16 years.
Right.
If it's not love, it's
Right.
insanity.
Yeah.
Which is both.
Yeah, because if it's just money, you'll just do some bullshit like bottle service night, right?
Yeah.
And bring in. I mean, back then you would have brought in some top 40 DJ or some shit, and then now you would maybe bring some
yes.
like EDM DJ. And
Especially back then, yes, it was, everybody was in Hollywood.
yeah.
Yeah. That's how, it was crazy. Of course, I did have other friends who would throw the top 40s. Well, of course, I would go. It's just more of like a mutual.
It's a different vibe, though. It's a
understanding.
different vibe, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's an alcohol vibe versus kind of like the rave vibe, right?
Yeah.
And alcohol vibe is very much like flash money, get laid, right? And then as we who rave know, like it's about the plur in rave, and you know, I think sometimes you do have to do shit like bottle service, to make it profitable. I've seen.
Yes.
Right, and I get that, but the core is always there. And one thing is for certain. After 2 a.m. and after last call, if there is kind of like that bottle service crowd, they will all leave eventually. And then,
They always do.
Yeah, from the hours of like 2 to 5 to 6 or whatever, that's when like the real vibes come out. But so you're starting out, like you're deciding, okay, I want to throw some shit that, that I would want to go to, that I want to listen to. You're networking with like local DJs who are kind of linking, so they're the ones linking you up with the producers
Yes.
for booking?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how it all started. But yeah, I mean, I think we did have a partner as far as Ida Engberg was concerned, who actually went and attended the Sunday School for Degenerates.
Okay. I remember that.
Yeah, so in Miami during it's not Miami Week. What was that?
It was,
what did it, Winter Music Conference.
Yeah, WMC.
Yes. So he was there. So he was raving about it when he came back. So he actually already discussed with, I think, her agent
Okay.
while she was there.
Okay. So you still had to deal with like agents and managers and stuff.
Yeah. So that's how
Okay.
we basically broke into the much bigger
Okay.
talents. And yeah, as soon as we got that, because most of the agents actually, work with other agents anyway, even other agencies, and would just move around. So that's how I built my relationships as well.
Oh, so people that you work with, they'll move from like one agency to the other, and now you have access to new rosters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we all build up, and then, of course, as soon as we, of course, they would look at the business side of things. Is it feasible to just, throw
Right.
in our artist at Incognito? And good thing they trusted our vision. And yeah, I think the rest is history.
Well,
Although we were doing underground and kinking.
I remember.
Hollywood.
Okay.
Back then as well. So that was the reason why we went to the underground was kinking, of course, ended there. Well, as every legal establishment has it ends the alcohol
yeah, too.
at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But kinking goes until 4, and it was still very constraining for the artist, because I always wanted to give the headliner at least 3 hours of a set, and that was not the best way to do it, especially in Hollywood.
The 4 a.m. was constraining, or the
Yes.
Okay, because you would want to go to like 5 or 6.
5 or
Okay.
6, yes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good stepping stone for us.
Right.
Like a milestone getting into kinking, which was like the underground in Hollywood, because you have to go through the back parking lot to get in.
Yeah, because from Hollywood Boulevard, you don't
know. Yeah, you don't know there's a club
Yeah,
there.
Yeah. It looks like a storefront or something that's just like blacked out, like the windows blacked
Yes.
out.
So yeah, that was fun times as well. When they closed down, we actually I think she was the door or doing the accounting or the manager actually for kinking. She moved to us, so she was helping us with the door.
Okay.
At all our underground parties.
Got it. So, taking it back to the beginning, like, do you mind if I ask, like, how much did you have to raise to, like, actually get that first party started, like, of your own, like, capital?
Oh, our budget was always capped to $3K.
Okay.
That's our thing, If we break even, perfect. If we make a little bit of money, we just move that money to the next party.
I mean, like, by today's standards, that's unbelievably cheap, right?
Yes.
I talk to folks now, and I want to say that average underground party with like 300 or 400 people is still going to cost you like 6 to 7, maybe even 8K, and you might not even have to pay DJs. You might get a better deal. I feel like you probably get a much better deal on venue.
Not anymore. Not after pandemic.
Okay.
As soon as the pandemic hit and reopened, everybody from the venue, our vendors, security,
Yeah, just inflation.
Jacked up their prices. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even inflation. It just knew that, during the pandemic, because of the plague graves, they knew that these plague grave, parties are willing to pay what they're asking to pay. They just got, okay.
Oh, so you're saying that the plague rave people pushed the prices up even before all the inflation was starting to happen?
Yep.
Just because they were willing to pay the premium. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which messed up, all our numbers as soon as we opened up. It was definitely harder to, to reach our break even point. Because the thing is, even though, as soon as everything opened up, all the fees went up, but our tickets didn't. We stuck to the same. Just to, everybody's struggling still, and we're very much, even us are struggling financially. So why not? I mean, just have fun. We'll keep on throwing, quality parties for you. That's fine. As long as we, hopefully we break even.
Right. So over the 16 years that you've been doing this, what are some of the overarching trends you feel like you've seen? Because I know we talked about the music has gotten faster and harder. I think I would say the music has maybe lost some of its groove. And things have gotten more expensive. Is there anything else that you've seen generally? Maybe like stuff with like social media or...
Definitely, especially during the pandemic, all the lockdowns, people are just online, social media, and I've seen a lot of the artists that were blowing up on social media who were not even on lineups are now in huge lineups. Like, all right, okay. I mean, I'm not judging them. I mean, that's just part of the business, I guess.
Do you mean like in terms of plague rave DJs who are now on lineups, or just generally social media savvy?
Just social media.
Okay.
Yeah, social media savvy. I mean, that's the only thing though, because I'm not really on social media as much as I need to be for business purposes, because I don't want to be... Personally, I don't want social media to influence the music taste of, That's the reason why we built Incognito.
Right.
I don't want to be just another promoter out there just booking the same DJs you see at these huge festivals.
Right.
When we started, I didn't even know technically Berghain. Right. It was more of the music, because the music that I played reflected, the taste, and then I would figure out, okay, this artist, well, I would book, and then eventually, he's actually plays at Berghain. So, when I started, I definitely loved the deep techno, groovy stuff, more, not really melodic, but it's more like there's emotion.
Yeah, like kind of deeper and progressive, right? I've talked about it with, I think we're older. We're on the older end of the raver spectrum, you and I. And anyone who sort of came up in LA in like from like the late 90s to the late 2000s, you know, we were sort of brought up in progressive, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that sort of Sasha and Digweed sensibility, like, is very much like that's the sound of our like generation, right? And then, you know, I feel like I kind of see it in the types of people that you bring, even though it's not progressive anymore. Like labels change, it's that sort of vibe, that like kind of earthy, kind of groovy vibe that I think, you know, that I feel like you appreciate, because I see like from the people that you bring, like even Ida Engbird, who is now more techno, but she's still of an older school ilk of techno that still kind of abides by kind of the groove. It's not just like in your face.
And even though, I mean, after that, of course, she was married to Adam,
right,
for the drum cuts out, but technically she doesn't actually have that cheesy. I mean, let's just admit it. Like mainstream. Okay, I don't want to be saying
or like the business techno. The business techno.
I mean, I've been calling that, like, why are you talking shit about drum code? But I said I'm not. I mean, I actually played their music. I booked their artists. Yeah. And if you see, most of the lineup in the underground, like drum code artists, they play a lot with us. So that was my thing. That was my response to them.
But like also, I think it's also fair though to call out that like it is techno. It is sort of geared toward like a wider audience. Yeah. Anytime you're doing that, there is like an element of cheesiness that gets injected into it.
But right now, if you just look at, step backwards and just look at the landscape. Let's just say, okay, there's a drum code festival, right? They have their own sound. And then, the harder type of techno is also huge. So what is cheesy now? What is mainstream?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
It's almost the same. People, people just go to this, what they like. Basically.
That is very true, because a lot of the stuff that like 6 a.m. brings in on the reg is very, very popular. Yeah. And is in no way sort of kind of anthemic or cheesy. It's a different vibe. So very true. Very true. So you mentioned how, you do collaborations with other promoters. Like, what are the most common ones that you work with? You mentioned Dirty Epic. Yeah,
so we actually started collaborating with Dirty Epic Andrew. Okay. Back in, when was this? We were still at Kinking, was the first one. Okay. I'm trying to remember who this
Andrew Suto, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot the name, but back then, of course, he was playing a lot more progressive techno, but now he's definitely. I mean, this artist. I'm still trying to remember his name.
Wait, he was a promoter too, or
no. He was. I think he's a UK artist. It's not Max something. Forgot. Anyway, okay. But now he's very. A lot of break beats. Okay. Very. He actually played recently, but yeah. Maybe you can cut this. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's fine. But so you're saying that you and Andrew teamed up to throw a party to bring this guy?
Yes.
Okay.
So this was a while back. So that was our very first collaboration. And then for the underground, I think we actually, the first collaboration we had was with 6 a.m. Okay. That was our very first.
And when you collaborate with another promoter, like, do you agree beforehand, like, who's going to do what? And, like, sort of, what does the partnership look like? So I had Marco from Synthetic come on, and, he said that it can vary, right? So sometimes it might just be you're kicking in on the expenses, and then someone in there like running with it. So like, what's your preferred type of partnership?
I mean, when we started, definitely, it's a 50-50 collaboration. I mean, they can either bring, the artist, the headliner, and then, because we built up our, the process on our end, the operations, the vendors. So that's what we already bring into the partnership. And then, of course, we share that amongst the partners. So
got it. So yeah, everyone's bringing their sort of network to help bring everything together, right? So that's security, beverage, venue. So we have all so we already have all our the main people that needs to be contacted or hire every other party. But we have been, I think, definitely when we were all into the underground, the only things that we've tested basically are, of course, sound and security. Right. Okay.
Those are the main things that would, make the party perfect. And, we definitely need to trust the security.
Yeah, because it's like a very fine line, right? Because security needs to be able to like keep things in check without sort of being complete assholes and ruining the vibe.
And
how do you test for that outside of just hiring them for a party and seeing how it goes?
I think when we started, we've had at least 4 or 5 changes, and then we've stuck with this the security that we've been using. And then,
because even I feel like
years.
Even if you work with the same folks, the headcount, the staff change, right? So have you ever experienced that where like, oh, we've been working with these guys forever, but they had to fight, they hired a bunch of new people and those people suck, or whoever runs the security is very good about making sure that.
So we trust the head security.
Okay.
And he tests his own staff. So
got it.
We've already had our own meetings with him, making sure that here are the expectations, of course. And so since then we've never had real huge issues about because they're basically the customer service front of things, because that's
true. That's true. Yeah, they're like the front facing people. Yeah.
So the first people you see at the door, making sure that because when we started, everything was very strict. Like, do you know how did you know how to get here? Do you have a password? Do you have a friend who told you, basically?
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess over the years that you've been doing this, like, have you just had any sort of nightmare stories in terms of parties gone wrong?
I'm glad that
okay, now knock on wood.
Years,
knock on wood.
No, nothing crazy.
Okay.
No ODs. Good.
Yeah. That's definitely a knock on wood.
Yeah, because that's yes, there are drugs in every party, not just the underground. Even if you go to a Hollywood party, there's always drugs.
Yeah, and I want to say that in general, the drugs at raves are better, just because there's less like shitty drugs. Meaning like heroin and like meth.
Yeah.
At raves.
Yeah. Good thing.
Yeah, totally.
And that's always how we approach things is, not that we list it out. I mean, we always say on our mailers, like as soon as we do the email blast, you always need to be responsible. Yeah. You're an adult.
Yeah.
We're not here to take care, baby you. So if you know that you're having issues, you have way more than what you took. I mean, of course we're there. Like, it's a community that we're trying to build. So hopefully each person, each attendee is actually looking after people. What you see, just tell the security, tell staff.
Yeah.
That, hey, somebody's having an issue. Let's take care of it.
Yeah. Bring the plur, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rave. So one thing I meant to ask is, I've noticed that across the promoter landscape, it seems like there's a lot of sort of Asian representation, which is great to see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like from the artist side, it has long since, I think it's changed a lot in like the last 5-10 years, but especially in the early like days, like 2000s, right? It was just dominated by like white dudes in terms of the DJ side.
Okay.
And so it's interesting to see that. I feel like, you know, like in terms of throwing the parties, it's like very like overly represented, you know, with Asians. Why do you think, is there a reason for that?
Actually, I've never thought about it. Because just for us, as Incognito, we never really tried to use the race.
Okay.
Basically, when we started, we don't want people to know who we are.
Okay.
So that's part of being Incognito. And same with the artist. You don't need to know. I mean, the original plan was they were supposed to play behind the curtain,
right?
And then just the reveal is know after maybe an hour they play. That was the original plan, but people didn't like that idea. It wouldn't sell tickets.
Oh, that was going to be the plan for Incognito. Like I love that, like secret headliner.
Yeah.
I mean, like Lights Down Low or somebody does that, right? Where it's like ticket of trust, but you know the day of, right? I guess you're saying like you wouldn't know till the end of the party.
That was the original plan. Like we've tested it out, you know, like small events here and there, just to see their reaction of people. It just wouldn't work. Like, okay. I mean, basically, I'm just thinking like, I think it's how LA people think.
Right.
Like they need to know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would be the same, right? Like, I guess, but if I went to your party enough where I trusted.
Yeah, that's what I'm still trying to do, even after 15, 16 years, is you need to start trusting, you know.
Right.
The brand itself versus.
Ticket of trust.
Yeah.
Ticket of trust. I think Lights Down Low did that, or it might have been, I'm pretty sure it was Lights Down Low, where they did Ticket of Trust.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to trust. And I didn't go to the party, and I found out it was like Jamie XX or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, that's actually really, that's dope. So another question for you, you know, like 16 years of doing this, at what point did it switch from being something you were doing kind of on the side to feel like, oh, I can like do this for a living?
So this was in 2018.
Okay.
Basically 2017.
Okay.
But yes, as soon as the new year said 2018, let's do this. Yeah, I mean, I was actually like the head of digital marketing and analytics for 2 big fashion brands.
You were? Okay.
Yeah.
So your background is in like tech?
Yes.
Okay.
So digital marketing, basically PPC, social media. I mean, everything under the
I'm sure that must
digital marketing world.
So I'm sure, were you already in that field before you started promoting Incognito? Or did they two kind of like help each other?
No, I was already in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started in I think 2004 for a startup company.
Okay.
E-commerce. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't doing anything yet.
Okay.
I would go every Monday. If you've heard of Monday Social.
Monday Night Social,
Monday Night
MNS.
Social.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's also our target market. So it's basically, you know, everybody who was a promoter during the weekend, that was the industry night.
Right. And so like, yeah, would you use that as a promoting ground? Like, oh, let me pass out flyers?
Yeah, we also do pass out flyers at the end of the night over there. But yeah, it was definitely more of like networking.
Okay. And so once you got to that point where you thought, oh shit, like we're actually making enough where I can, like, was it like, how did you make the decision? Like, I'm going to do this now. Like, cause I'm sure, like, I know for me, I have a full-time job, and the idea of kind of taking the plunge into like full entrepreneurial is like scary, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, there was a lot of politics in and working in a private company
Okay.
that you can't control that much.
Right.
Yeah. So I said, fuck this shit. I've already been doing Incognito for so long.
Right.
10 years
Right.
since then. And it looks like, it was already definitely getting bigger and at least making this almost the same amount of money that I was making from the day job.
Right. But so
No, but-
wasn't
but
it
that-
hard?
that's-
Because
that's
you were
harder,
that's
'cause it's
double
all-
income. I was
yes.
gonna say that's double income.
Yes, that was definitely double. But I was already seeing like, okay, it's already picking up.
Right.
So I don't mind losing this because I know which was good. It actually picked up after that because now I can definitely concentrate more on the business.
Oh, I see. So even though you were losing one income on the Incognito side, you were able to grow it to
Yes.
maybe offset some of the loss. Okay.
Because when I work, I don't sleep. That's the thing. Why am I working this hard for somebody else to make their money, millions?
Right. Meaning when you work with your real job or
Yeah,
your,
for
your
the day job.
Day job? Okay.
Because I would already come in like 8:30 a.m. But since I was salaried, I'm not on,
Right.
I'm not on the clock.
Right.
So I would work almost 10, 12 hours every day. Like, what the fuck?
Oh man. On top of running, so
Yeah, and then running
Yeah.
Incognito as well. So yeah.
So how did you do that for so long? Because I'm looking at you like you look pretty fresh. Like some people, some people who who've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they start to look pretty haggard and like the party life has had its way.
Yeah.
So how did you? That's a long time, over 10 years, to be juggling both things
Yeah.
for so long.
It definitely was crazy. I think, of course, after working a day job, that's all I would look forward to is, it's not really time to relax, but it's working on something you actually are very passionate about, which is music.
Right.
For me, even at on my desk, I would just have my headphones and just listening to music.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's also the time that I would discover stuff, of course. But yeah, I think what cemented us definitely, attracting a lot of the kids was when we had Amelie Lens.
Okay. So that must have been recent, right? Like
I got her 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, March of 2018. So that's why I said, okay, when we announced it in September of 2017.
Oh, that's a
No.
long lead up.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't, she hadn't had that name before. But I said, okay, it looks like, because I saw her on Awakenings, their live stream. I said, like, who the hell is this? No clue, but I love her energy. And I said, reach out. Who the hell is the agent?
Okay. Yeah. So how did you track her down?
I believe I caught her. I think I just hit her up on IG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
shit.
she just sent me straight to
Like a booking agent or
booking
something.
agent. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I think that's the same time that Bullet actually just signed her up as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the main thing because for all these years, we would of course we would expect a churn of young kids. Well, we need to. We can't just have the old people that started with us going out
Right.
all the time. Of course, everybody's gonna be having families.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was definitely, a thing that also is something that we have to think about on our booking wise.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right? Because you want to bring in the new kids, but the new kids also have different musical tastes.
Yes.
So it's sort of finding that middle ground, right?
Which is actually weird because when we announced Emily Lance, nobody knew her.
Okay.
But eventually, by that December, like people okay, people social media our account was just blowing up. Like what's
Okay.
going on?
It's funny you mentioned that because I have these friends that, you know, they and I throw a party. It's called Ours. It's like a desert renegade thing that's been going on for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But the most recent installment of it, it's just like, oh, we're all like really old now and no one's showing up. Like it was probably like I think in its heyday for a renegade, it was like maybe like 100 plus people. And now we're down to like 30 and everyone's just like tired and hanging out in their tents. And we had like the long discussion, like how do we like inject some youth into this, but also sort of maintain curation over the sound, right? It's like, okay, like we could like easily double, triple attendance by having someone come and just like bang out 140 BPM, like crazy techno.
Yeah.
But that's not a party that we want to be at. So it's like, how do you juggle that? So for you, how do you juggle that?
That's usually not my bookings. I mean, I would admit, my bookings are usually, you know, definitely on the groovy side.
Okay.
Very hypnotic type of techno. Not the, I mean, I can play.
Right.
I would play with them, which I don't mind. Actually, I booked Freddie K. And this past December, I didn't know he played on. I didn't know he played 150 and above on freaking records.
Oh, I didn't know. 150?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I played that for him.
Oh yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
Like, I mean, of course, I was playing on the CDJs and just trying to, you know, check the BPM. Like, what the hell? I don't have that much.
Wait, so did you mix into 150 or did you just like, you did?
I did.
Okay.
I never shut down or end a set.
You mixed into 150 and then did you continue at 150?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
So I just sped up a lot of my tracks.
I feel like at that point, like, just play a drum and bass set.
I did. I mean, like I mentioned, you know, I started house drum and bass,
Right.
so I still have a lot of, you know, I've been buying a lot of drum and bass.
Okay.
Because if you notice the techno as well, recently there's
It's gotten a little breaky or.
yes.
Yeah.
So there's the drum and bass part of it that they've been using within techno, but not the strands type of stuff that's been playing. So the drum and bassy techno, breaky techno,
Yeah.
I would play.
I'm into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. Like, I'm hearing a lot more of kind of like, it's fast, but it's kind of breaky rave, like warehouse rave,
Yeah,
like
'cause
warehouse breaks.
Because it creates its own groove.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
not continuous.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to those parties where it's just continuous. Like, whoa. So I guess that raises a question for me in terms of other promoters. Like, who do you really like whose parties are you really into? Like, would you go to? And since you're always busy throwing your own parties, do you ever really get a chance to go to other people's parties?
No, because that's the thing. Is as soon as I actually wanted to have a kid after all these years.
Okay. Congratulations. We were talking
thank
before.
You. Yeah, I had him 2012.
Okay.
Because my main reason was I want to slow things down.
Right.
Because, you know, the events is getting crazier almost every weekend back then. I said, you know what, we have to, you know, slow things down. Had a kid after a year, went back full blast.
Full send after a year. Okay.
Like, okay, nope. I mean, of course, but yeah, I mean, every time I don't have an event, I would just, you know, spend time with family most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get out if I can, if there's, you know, some people, some artists that I would like to check out.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you would rarely see me at any other events, which I don't know if it's bad or not, but hey, I have my priorities.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you have a family,
Yeah.
But I feel like you probably know all those guys, though, right? Like,
Yeah. Of course, there's 6 a.m.
right.
Dirty Epic.
You've partnered with 6 a.m. multiple times.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So I think I've seen you 6 a.m. and Dirty Epic
Yes.
throw things together. Okay.
And then we've worked with Dialogue as well.
Okay.
Of course, they're more in the minimal house stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's Eddie and Enzo, right? Or is it just Eddie?
no, Eddie and Rolando.
Okay.
The Midnight Lovers guy.
Okay. I didn't know that. So he's in both. He's running both.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. So after that, where were we?
I guess I was asking you about kind of, what other parties that you're into, or other promoters' parties.
So lately, those are the ones that I would still go out to.
Okay.
Mainly because I know them.
Right. Yeah. So now that you have a family, like, what does the week to week look like? Because you're still throwing events.
Yeah.
Nearly weekly. And then you have a family. So what is walk me through, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday, I'm on emails because I actually also do the marketing assets for Incognito still.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the flyers.
And does your background in digital marketing, because I feel like, sounds like you were doing more like marketing analytics and like click through. So
it wasn't on the creative side.
Okay.
I'm definitely on the analytics side.
Right. Okay. So this is like a separate skill set that you've developed over 16 years. Okay.
Yes. I do have a creative side. More of the artistic side anyway, back then. So, I think I'm fortunate enough to have both.
That's awesome. Yeah. So business minded and some like creative.
But also it's also a good thing that my partner Alan is more on the business side, marketing side now. So technically we swap positions.
Okay.
in Incognito.
Yeah, and I guess between the two of you, how do you like divide the labor?
He still has a day job, by the way.
Okay, he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Does he have family and stuff too?
No,
or?
he's a bachelor.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think that's definitely one of the things that either propelled us to our current status in the underground. Is yes, we've been doing it forever, but there's a reason why, right? It's not always we agree. For two people or more, there's always a agreement where we would need to bring this,
right?
Or the budget, or who to book. If I was the only one, I would book everybody and lose a lot of money.
You're just like, I'm just gonna book who I want to hear.
Yeah. That's a creative side of things.
So Alan, do you feel like he kind of balances you out in terms of like picking people who are still like commercially viable?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he runs the marketing.
Right. Okay.
So he needs to figure out like, how do we market this person?
Yeah, and then so what is he doing to keep his finger on the pulse of like, okay, what's going to bring the new people and what's going to bring the kids?
I think he's the one that always goes out.
Okay. Oh, so he'll go to other parties and stuff. Okay. So I should have brought you both on together and kind of get
he's very busy. He actually runs he's in the digital advertising part of it. So he's client side of things.
You mean for his regular job?
For his regular job.
Got it.
So he's very busy. I think he now owns two of the biggest accounts that he's working on right now. So,
oh wow!
So he's usually only available on weekends.
Got it.
It's even hard to have him
But he still comes to all the events too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's insanity. Like, I'm running this pod, and I'm trying to go out and network and stuff, to meet people and have them be guests, and it's a struggle for me, and I'm not nearly like hitting it as hard, I feel like, as you guys are. So on that point, what would you say for people out there who want to be in the business, like for networking, like what are some tips? Is it just go out and party, man, and just be around?
Yeah, I think you just go to events that you like,
right?
And what type of music you actually like. It's not more of like, okay, it looks like they're making money. I'll just book the same
Right.
artist. But right now, I know we're saturated with it's almost the same type of music. And yes, there's still a huge market there, because, Insomniac has their festivals and people still go out and they book almost the same artist as who we book. So most of the time they'll have the artist debut with us, and then eventually you'll see them on their lineups.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, I don't mind. That's how it works, right? Because if it's basically we're the tastemakers,
Right.
and see what works. And hey, if they go to the festivals, of course it's gonna be harder, more expensive to get them back, if ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just I think cements us as, hey, yes, you're doing something right.
Yeah. And I guess it kind of funnels both ways too, right? So they're the big guys, so they may swallow up some of your talent and raise the prices. But I think the opposite end is they're exposing rave to so many new people annually, like on a year-to-year basis. Whether it's just EDC or like the tons of other shit that they're doing, right? So I feel like a lot of that crowd filters down to the underground too.
So I mean, remember when EDM was just blowing up and everybody talking shit about it, but at least in my mind, those kids who are, they're attracting, eventually will find their way, and they did.
Right.
So I don't mind, if they attract, the mainstream.
Right.
Even if we get a smaller portion of those people who actually figure out, oh, there's something else. There's some more quality music out there.
Right.
And if they find Incognito, yes, perfect, because that's basically the reason why we started it anyway, is to bring in quality music, quality artists, and build a community around it who, have the same taste. And if we can find a way to, educate them more and digging deeper into the music, which, I mean, if you look at all our bookings, it's almost, we'll have big artists, but most of them, basically mid-tier.
Right.
Or even, just about to blow up.
Yeah. Underground.
Yeah, definitely underground. And that's always the plan, and I'll try to stick to that as much as I can, and not just because we can book, this huge artist. I don't want to do that as well, because it's going to hurt us, because all the eyes.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's a huge balance for us too. Even if we, should I book this DJ, even though we can just throw money at them or her, and make sure that we'll have a proper party and pack. But I don't want to be packing 1,000, 2,000 capacity venue and then all eyes,
right?
Like city or county.
Yeah, you want to stay incognito.
Yeah, then I'll shut it down. We lose a lot of money.
Right.
It fucks up everybody. So that's one of the reasons why we also want to take care of each other. We collaborate with other promoters. We have an understanding that, hey, you better take care of what we have, which is good here, especially here in LA.
What do you mean when you say take care? Like what is the understanding with other promoters?
It's more of like, take care of the underground, take care of the people who attend, make sure that you're not attracting authorities that we don't need.
Got it.
Make sure your operations are fine, Got it,
yeah. Like there's a responsibility to the scene to try to do things on the up, right? So as not to like attract like unwanted attention type of thing. Okay.
Because during the lockdown, people, would say shit about us. Like, why are you not doing, an event? Yeah. You're an underground. You should be against, whatever it's lockdown or authority, like.
Yeah, this is different. You're like, this is different.
Yeah, I mean, we want people alive.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't believe in science, that's on you.
Right.
but I actually have, a bachelor's in science in biology.
Right.
So I know what's going on. So I'd rather, since we started, we've been taking care of you through security, or just making sure that you just have fun responsibly.
Yeah.
So that's how we took care of you during the lockdown. We'll take care of you not doing a show.
Yeah. I mean, it's underground fun. It's still underground, but within like a responsible band, right? Mm-hmm. And I think like the edges keep getting pushed further in all aspects of life, right? So like there used to be, even on like politics, right? Liberal and conservative, those that are like the goalposts have moved. So now there's like ultra liberal and ultra conservative. And I think the same goes with rave, where it's like, we're underground, but we're not that underground type of thing, right? Where it's like, we still want to like preserve life.
Yes.
That said, I've spoken to people who did throw plague raves, and like, I don't condone, but a lot of like their rationale for doing what they did was like, a lot, like from a mental health perspective, a lot of people were locked down and like needed that outlet, right?
Yeah.
Like some of those people may have like killed themselves or like lashed out violently or like committed crimes because they were locked in. And I get that argument as well.
Yeah.
But that, that also being said, I feel like you and all the kind of the major names out in the rave scene, like you're right. Like you guys all like did the right thing and like acted responsibly. And even when things started reopening, it was like, okay, you got to do your vax check. You got to do like a thing, show up with your negative test. So now that all of that's kind of gone, like you must be like so relieved though, right? Like,
yes. I mean, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years lockdown.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, it was in 2018, like I said, okay, I can now leave my day job and just focus on Incognito.
And then the pandemic happens.
Pandemic happened, yeah. Because we actually had, which is weird, we had a festival, our first festival, scheduled on March 14, 2020, which was called Unmasked.
Okay.
Because it's,
It was for March 14th, 2020? Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh, so what bad timing, dude.
It was. So we're still trying to crawl our way from the finances from that.
Oh, shit. Because that was just a big financial hole in terms of, like, did you have to pay everyone?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because it was just the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was like the day. That was like the day.
The announcement was on the 13th.
Oh my
God. We were trying to, like, how many people can we actually, because, everybody was, not everybody, but like authorities would say, okay, you can only have 1,000 people, 500, 200, 100, 50, like, fuck.
Yeah.
Then just complete lockdown. Like,
oh my God.
Okay.
So, during lockdown, obviously, like, you couldn't do any business.
Yeah.
For like a year and a half, I want to say, right? I feel like they started opening things up for like events again in like June of 21, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So during that time, like, were you able to at least like make use of like programs like what was it? PPP?
We had PPP.
Okay.
That was it. We didn't even, somebody helped us to get the other type of funding for, I think, especially for clubs.
Okay.
For promoters, I forgot the name.
Okay.
But it had way too many paperwork.
Okay.
Like, I know you would make, you would get a little bit more money than the PPP, but it was I think it was in May of 2021. So right before it was about to open anyway. So like, I don't want to deal with more paperwork. Let's just figure this out. And,
Yeah, and like in terms of like your process of getting that funding, did you just go to your normal bank and be like, "Yo, I need, I want"? Yeah,
I mean,
like, what was the process?
We did have our accountant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So our accountant helped us in getting all that paperwork done for the PPP.
I mean, I'm glad that you guys and other promoters were able to kind of take advantage of that. Like, I'm sure it probably wasn't ideal, but at least it's like something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I stretched that amount of money that was left after, the loss from.
The loss from Unmasked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Now we were debating, should we bring? I mean, of course, we still want to do our own festival, and we were debating. We have to rebrand. It doesn't make sense that we'll call it Unmasked, and people will just say it's because of the pandemic. It was never about the pandemic.
That's true.
It was because Incognito, and now we're coming out.
Yeah.
So
It has new meaning, though.
Yeah, we're
It has
unmasking.
new meaning. That's funny. Wow. Yeah. You got to call it something else. That's hilarious, though. And so I guess just to cap off final topic.
Yeah.
You DJ too.
Yes.
So how do you navigate sort of putting yourself out there as an artist versus putting yourself out there as a promoter?
I've never really pushed myself as getting booked, which I need to do more. But I mean, I'm
because I still see you on. I mean, at least on your own lineups, and it's still like a draw, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit,
So that, of course, it's more of. I like the artists that we book, so I'd love to play with them. I mean, it started where I have to open up for them because, yes, we would book the actual openers, but the DJ playing right before, I like to control the mood.
Okay.
If, for example, I have the opener suddenly started banging it out,
Right.
I have to bring it back to properly.
So you
open
prefer
up.
to be on the opening end than to close it out.
Sometimes, but
Okay.
eventually, after a few years, all the openers are already definitely know how to open properly.
Right.
We tell them this is the artist that we're booking, we're booking you. We're thinking about booking you, but can you do a proper opening set?
Right.
Which most of them have done properly. So okay, now we can trust more people.
Right. So
to
have
do
you
a proper
had
booking.
bad experience with openers? Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
bang it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially in our early years.
Okay.
Like, come on.
I saw that happening. Who did I go see? I went to go see Sasha at Sound, maybe last October.
Okay.
And I don't remember who opened for him, but I didn't feel like the respect was there.
I mean, it's a tough thing to do,
Yeah.
to control the urge.
Yeah. Because he was literally he dropped some shit where his arms were in the air.
Oh shit. Okay.
Dude, you're opening for Sasha. Why are you doing this right now? And I don't know if anyone chatted with him afterward.
Yeah.
But
But as far as gigs, I mean, I'm actually this is the first month or first time that I was booked more outside of Incognito. So this Saturday, I'm actually booked in Vegas. So I'm playing out there. It was with Sam Paganini,
oh shit. Okay.
Leighton Jordan.
So some drum code
Yeah.
drum code lineup.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can play whatever.
Right. Yeah. And what? So do you still play kind of on the groovier tip, or do you fuck with the techno a little more now as well?
I mean, and then next Saturday with Shlomo for
Okay.
work.
Okay.
I'm actually
Oh, yeah,
playing
yeah,
for them, yeah. So I mean, I've been playing the tracks of Shlomo for a while now. But I'm closing that out. So I usually actually don't prepare that much, or at least practice the tracks that I play. I would listen to whoever the headliner is,
Right.
what type of music they play, and then
Okay. So you try to tailor to.
yeah.
who
So
you're
and
playing
then
with.
I'll just buy maybe 3 to 5 hours before the gig,
Oh shit.
and I would just play them right away. I don't even test them out. I mean, I would listen to them on record box,
Right.
and see and then just sort them. Okay, which one would work better? But usually once I'm behind the decks, I'll just listen to it.
Got it. Well, Well, awesome, man. I mean, I look forward to catching you play at some point. Like when I manage to like get out of the house and go out and stay out. But thank you. I mean, this hour has flown by. Thank you so much for giving your insight. I mean, you are certainly kind of one of the most respected promoters in the scene right now. You've been around for a really long time. I've not so much lately, but I've been going to your parties since, back in the day. And so thanks again. Is there anything you want to plug, like social media wise, to the folks out here?
Well, social media is Gerard Not Gerald. You can just go to Instagram. I'm rarely on Facebook anyway. Gigs wise, this July, well, before when this goes out. So July 2 in Vegas, July 9 for Work with Shlomo.
Check out Work. Shout out to Gia and Marco and the whole Work crew.
And then July 16 is our Compound show, which is the biggest collaboration that, in the underground. Dirty Epic.
Is that Panpot again or no?
Oh, we did have Panpot,
right, okay.
But no. This time we have Rebecca.
Okay, with a K, right?
Yeah.
I know her. Okay.
Rebecca, Face, and Tape Feed.
Okay.
I mean, so all UK techno.
Sick.
And then.
Oh, and then Incognito is I Love Incognito? Is that the Instagram?
Yeah, Incognito is I Love Incognito. It's ILUV Incognito.
Sick. Well, thank you again, man. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at Side Note Media. You can follow me at Decoy Nick. And thanks again, folks, for tuning in. Until next time.